Welcome to my channel Arts and Literature. Today I am going to decode history of translation during 18th century from the book Translation Studies by Susan Bassnett.
18th century literature refers to the period from 1700 to 1799, which is called Century of Lights or Century of Reason. Prominent translation theorists of the 18th were Sir John Denham, Abraham Cowley, Alexander Pope, John Dryden. Throughout the 18th century, the silent slogan of the translators was ease of reading. Whatever they did not understand in a text, or thought it might bore readers, they just omitted. Dryden and Pope believed in the importance of conveying the essential spirit of a text in a clear and understandable manner. One notable example is restructuring of Shakespearean texts that aimed to make them more accessible and appealing to the contemporary audience. Dr. Johnson, in his biography of Pope, discussed the question of adding to a text through translation. He argued that if elegance is achieved in the process of translation without sacrificing anything essential, it is desirable. Dryden and Pope supported the idea of modifying and adapting works to align with the language and taste of the time, as long as the core essence remained intact. Translations by different translators make the original meaning of a text variable. Pope and Chapman have different approaches to portraying Andromache's reaction to the sight of Hector's death in Book 22 of the Iliad. Pope's version emphasizes Andromache's emotional turmoil and despair. He employs a more elaborate and formal language style to convey the agony and anticipation leading up to the moment of horror. On the other hand, Chapman's version presents Andromache as a strong and active participant in the scene. He employs direct verbs and a more dramatic quality to depict her actions and reactions. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, the renowned German writer and polymath, proposed three phases or stages of translation in his work, on the different methods of translating. In the first phase, Goethe suggests that a translator should introduce his audience with foreign works to their own culture or language. This involves rendering the foreign work in familiar terms, making it accessible and relatable to the audience. Goethe refers to Luther's translation of the Bible into German as an example of this approach. The second phase involves a more creative and interpretive process. The translator absorbs the essence or meaning of the foreign work and then re-expresses it using their own language and cultural context. This mode of translation emphasizes the translator's role as a creative agent, shaping the foreign work according to their own terms. Goethe cites Wieland and the French tradition of translation as examples of this mode, which was criticized by German theorists at the time. The third phase, according to Goethe, represents the highest level of translation. It aims for perfect identity between the source language, SL, text, and the target language, TL, text. In this mode, the translator strives to create a new manner or style that combines the uniqueness of the original work with a new form and structure that suits the target language. The idea of achieving perfect identity between SL and TL texts, while preserving the original's uniqueness, implies a level of equivalence that may not always be attainable. It becomes increasingly difficult to capture all the nuances, cultural references, and linguistic peculiarities of the original work in the translation. It raises questions about the limitations and boundaries of translation, potentially leading to the notion of untranslatability. Alexander Fraser Tytler, a Scottish jurist and writer, proposed three principles of translation in his work, The Principles of Translation. The first principle, according to Tytler, the primary objective of translation is to accurately convey the thoughts, ideas, and meaning of the original work to the target language. This principle emphasizes the importance of maintaining the integrity and essence of the source text during the translation process. The second principle, Tytler believed that translators should strive to capture not only the content but also the style, tone, and manner of expression used in the original work. This principle highlights the significance of preserving the linguistic and stylistic characteristics of the source text in order to recreate its unique voice and effect in the translated version. The third principle, Tytler argued that a successful translation should read as if it were an original work written in the target language. This principle emphasizes the importance of creating a translation that resonates with the target audience, even if it means making some adaptations or modifications to the original text. Tytler was critical of the influence of John Dryden. Dryden's concept of paraphrase had resulted in excessively loose translations according to Tytler. However, Tytler acknowledged that a translator has the responsibility to clarify any ambiguities in the original text, even if it requires some omissions or additions. He likened the translator to a painter, but with a difference. He argues that a translator cannot use the same colors as the original, but is nevertheless required to give his picture the same force and effect. So, a translator should strive to create a work that has the same impact and effect as the original. Tytler emphasized that the translator must fully understand the essence of the author and convey it through their own means. The translator must strive to adopt the very soul of his author, which must speak through his own organs. The translation theory from Dryden to Tytler revolved around the challenge of capturing the essential spirit, soul, or nature of the artwork. However, as time passed, the translators moved away from a purely mechanical copying process, as described by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and sought to create translations that brought the original work to life rather than producing lifeless imitations. If you found my video informative, then like, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe.